this evening. Item number 2, discussion and action on the approval of the minutes of the meeting held on January 21st, 2014. You've all had a chance to review those minutes. Is there a motion that they be approved as written?
Move to approve the minutes.
Okay, motion by Benson, second by Lael. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Benson?
Yes.
Lael?
Yes.
Creed?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Valencia?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Miller?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Item number 3, discussion and action on the approval of claims. Have you claims for this council to approve this evening? Mr. Miller.
Yes, Your Honor, I make a motion we approve claims of $210,563.03.
Second.
Motion and a second. Motion by Miller, second by Benson. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Miller?
Yes.
Benson?
Yes.
Valencia?
Yes.
Hannaford?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Creed?
Yes.
Lael?
Yes.
Brown?
Yes.
Item number 4, committee and board reports. Let's start with Joe Don.
Well, what I'll do is I'll just turn it over to Councilman Miller. The only meeting that I'm aware of that we had since the last council meeting was the Finance Committee meeting today.
Councilman Miller.
Today we discussed several things. One of the items that we looked at was reserve fund policy for both capital reserve and for emergency fund. We're going to be developing a policy on how we move those monies and make sure that we account for that and the reason behind why we would move that, so that if it's ever brought under question, that we'll have a policy that outlines that the council will vote on. We're also going to be developing a policy for collection and billing for the city bill, go along the same lines, so that when we have a concerned citizen come up that says, you know, what's the policy on how you handle this, we can present that. There's been things that have been happening. It's, for instance, I believe some water bills have come in that somebody would say, well, I had a leak, here's my bill, you're supposed to adjust it. And in the past, some of those have been adjusted one way or another, but there's no policy on that, so we're going to develop a policy that will outline how we handle that. The other thing, besides signing all the claims we had, was next time you won't actually see the purchase because it's being financed, but the loader that we had budgeted $160,000 for the street department, we'll be making that purchase out of that loan proceeds for $135,000. So $25,000 difference between what we are purchasing and what we budgeted.
And that will be an agenda item just like the last purchases were.
And that would be my report.
Any other comments from any of the other committees?
I did have from the hospital board, they did ask me to pass along the fact that Lindsay Pruitt, the new PA working out of Dr. Kinsey's office, is in place, and that the hospital is welcoming appointments in that area.
And the library board, anticipating bad weather, has canceled their meeting for tomorrow. Item number 5 are our business managers report items. Joe Don, I see you've been to CMAO.
Yes, I went to CMAO through January 22nd through the 24th. This is the annual City Managers Winter Conference in Stillwater. Some of the things that were discussed that are certainly discerning to the cities are, one, how GASB is going to require us to be reporting our pensions and on our annual financial reports. Pensions were the bulk of the discussions at this meeting, along with this and how the cities were going to handle the reporting of the pension shortfalls. One of the things that will happen is that we will have to report on our financials, the city's portion of the state police and fire pension funds and their shortages. So that will come back to, proportionally that could come back to haunt us. We'll also have to report on how both of the city pension plans, the defined benefit, the defined contribution are going to, how they are going to be funded, either, and how that might affect our financials. The defined contribution will not affect it as much as what the defined benefit will if it's not fully funded. Another topic that was hotly debated was the new stormwater permit changes that DEQ is going to require. Right now, fortunately, the city of Alva is currently not required to participate in this program. And some of the other conference discussions were how to, proper methods of costing out labor contract proposals, and how cities are handling economic development within their communities. The other report items would be the airport runway report. FAA, since our last meeting has happened, FAA had noted some deficiencies on our information which we had submitted. I've gotten with Myers Engineering. Some of these deficiencies were just because of oversights of FAA. Some of them were some changes that the city needed to make in the survey points, which would probably have been a little bit more major. Last week, Myers Engineering was supposed to be here. I haven't confirmed whether they were or not at this time, but they were supposed to have been here last Friday, retaking those survey markings so all that information could be resubmitted to FAA this week. The next report item would be the U.S. Highway 281-64 streetlight project. Met with OG&E representatives at the construction site and determined ODOT needed to move about 3 of their signal poles slightly to clear the electrical lines that are currently in that area. This recommendation was also noted in the Garver Engineering report that we had prepared. We have been in contact with ODOT, and I got in contact with them Friday about making those changes. They were going to be getting back with their engineers, and I have not had a chance to touch base with them today. We'll probably try to do that sometime this week. The Alva Rec Center HVAC system, that system was advertised for bid in the local paper on February 2nd. The planned bid opening date will be February 25th, so that we can have something on the agendas to be accepted in March and get construction started. The new Alva transfer station, our plans were sent to DEQ last week. If everything goes as planned, the project should be bid out within the next couple of weeks. One of the things that we are waiting on is to see how DEQ handles this application. This went to the Land Services Division of DEQ. And our transfer station and every transfer station is pretty much held to the same standards as landfills. So we're wanting to make sure that this process, see what reviewer we get and how this process is going to go, whether or not we're going to be able to move forward in a seamless manner, or if we're going to have to go back and make some changes. And that really depends on the reviewer that we get at DEQ. So we're waiting to find that out. Some of the upcoming meetings that we have, we've got a water sewer committee meeting immediately following this meeting. The library board meeting, again, has been canceled for tomorrow. There's an OML legislative meeting on February 5th that I will probably not be attending. There's a Northwest Oklahoma Water Advisory Board meeting on the 6th that I am anticipating weather changes on right now. But the Board of Adjustments is still planning to meet on February 10th, and the Airport Board will meet on February 10th. And Mayor and Council, that would be my report, and I would try to answer any questions that you may have.
Council? Okay, hearing none, let's go to item number 6. Discussion and action on resolution number 2014-073, approving interlocal cooperative agreement for Circuit Engineering District, known as CED number 8. And that's under tab number 6. Joe Don?
This is an annual agreement we enter into with Circuit Engineering District 8. It's kind of Circuit. They by entering into this, we are able to purchase a lot of street signs at a greatly reduced cost, and they've also made some safety signs for us. And again, we can get, because they are located locally, we can get those signs delivered quickly and priced reasonably. I'd recommend us continuing with the interlocal agreement with Circuit Engineering District 8.
Is there a motion to that effect?
Make a motion to approve resolution 2014-073, approving interlocal cooperative agreement for Circuit Engineering District, known as CED number 8.
Second.
Okay, motion by Miller, second by Vinson. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Miller,
Yes.
Benson,
Yes.
Creed, Brown,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Lael,
Item number 7, discussion and action to approve authorization of the mayor to sign the REAP grant contract. You'll find that under tab number 7. Joe Don?
Yes. As discussed briefly last week, we did receive our REAP grant contract from OEDA in the amount of $50,000. The purpose of this grant is for repairing the corner of 3rd and Flynn Streets and construct curb and guttering along Locust, Church, and Center Streets for 2 blocks. There'll be a total of 6 blocks of curb and guttering. This addition of curb and guttering will allow the city to add chip and seal coat, which will bring this from a dirt street to a street similar in construction to the other streets in Alva. This agenda item is here because OEDA requires this body, the council, to formally authorize the mayor to sign the grant contract, and we would encourage you to sign this grant contract.
Is there a motion to approve the signing of this agreement?
I would move that we authorize the mayor to sign the REAP grant contract.
Second.
Motion by Valencia, second by Hannaford. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Valencia,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Benson,
Yes.
Lael,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Creed,
Item number 8, remarks and inquiries by council members. Council? Hearing none. Item number 9, remarks and inquiries by citizens. Would any citizens like to speak this evening? Please state your name, and you have 2 minutes.
Margaret Schauberger, and I'm talking to Mr. Fisher, and I'm just wondering whether we can get this resolved.
Well, I believe I've been in touch, and so has the city attorney, have been in touch with your attorney, and we will continue communicating through him on the resolution of this matter.
Well, as of 4 o'clock, not really 4 o'clock, earlier today, I talked to Mr. Sutter, and he has not been able to get in touch with you.
I talked to him twice this afternoon about this instance.
And I have gave my maps and my letter from Mr. Brown, and it really needs, my position is, the Oklahoma Tax Commission has come to see me, and it's got to be resolved just really quick. So, do we have a,
Is there any other material that we've seen that would,
Any information that I have to date indicates that Mrs. Schallenberger is inside the city limits.
Have you seen the letter from Mr. Brown?
I have seen the letter from Mr. Brown. I do have a copy of that.
and when was that indicated to her that
That letter went out on December 10th of 2009.
December 10th of 2009?
Yes.
And when did we inform her that she was now within the city limits?
I don't know that we have ever informed her. We were contacted by the Oklahoma Tax Commission as to whether or not she was in the city limits. And we, after doing our research and looking at our maps and all the information that we had at that time, we informed the Oklahoma Tax Commission that yes, she was inside the city limits.
Excuse me, I called Oklahoma Tax Commission, spoke to Sherry. She said that they do not call cities to ask if someone's in the county or the city, because if they did, they'd be on the phone all the time. She said Randy called her.
Well, I think it's fair to say that we're aware of the situation, we're trying to get it resolved.
Why did we do this again when I have a letter from Mr. Brown?
I do not know why Mr. Brown sent a letter out.
Well, he said when they did the survey.
Excuse me.
And everything.
I understand all that, but basically, we don't have an agenda item to discuss this particular item. It just came up on the general. We're looking at it as quickly as we can and communicating with your attorney. That's about all we can do at this stage. There's information. I provided some information to the business manager this afternoon, survey that was done out there. So we're trying to get it resolved. We want to work with you to get that done.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Mr.
Sheldon Greer.
Greer.
I missed you in your meeting, but anyway, I've had a couple of people mention some things to me, and I'm totally, once your name is mentioned in the paper, people find you. And there's a couple of things that's happened. The city, the police left a summons with somebody one time. And then also this lady I talked about, the chickens and stuff. And the case was dismissed, but they had paid $60 each time. What happens to that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Do you want me to respond to that, Mr. Mayor?
I guess so. If you're familiar with it,
I'm really can't tell you exactly. I think there was some discussion that may have been a forfeiture by agreement. And really it's hard to talk to a third party about
Well, I
an
understand.
incident that doesn't involve them, and they weren't in the office to discuss any of those issues, so.
What, is there a procedure then?
Yes, there is for all tickets.
In other words, if they had forfeited it, or my
Yeah.
understanding that they said just forget it. And the money, $60 twice, is floating somewhere or something.
Okay. There is a procedure for all tickets, whether someone pleads guilty, not guilty, is found guilty, they want to forfeit, they do not want to contest it, there's a procedure where that goes into, I think, the general fund, I assume. It goes into the general fund, just like it does in all communities throughout the state of Oklahoma.
And the good thing I'm talking about now, I help, I'm a volunteer with Pastor Clapp, which most of you may, some of you don't know, but he goes out to the prison and provides religious service for him. There are men out there, and we've been running from 100 and 124 people coming there, listen to him and talking to the pastor. So you got somebody in your community that's going outside what a lot of people don't do. And I'll be quiet.
And that volunteer work is much appreciated by the community and by the prisoners, too. Anyone over here? Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself.
Yes, I'm Scott Cook. I live on 800 Skyline Drive. I'd like to thank you all for taking time to listen to me. I'm not sure if I need to bring this up now or in the utility meeting. I wanted to talk to you about city sewer. Is now the time to do that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I talked to Joe Don. I've been talking to him for probably a year and a half about getting sewer out to my house at 800 Skyline. We're on the east side of the road. There's 3 houses on the north end of Skyline, my house, Jason Embry, and then another house. And we're the last 3 houses on that side of the street that don't have city sewer. And I talked to Joe Don about trying to get city sewer to us. And I think you told me last year that we were put in the budget this year, and I think the fiscal budget is June to June maybe, or July to June.
July to June.
And so I was just wondering if that's still in the budget to get done before June this year.
That's still being discussed and how we're going to get those lines, get that taken care of. We do not have plans on it yet,
Okay.
but it is still being discussed internally with the water department and the other entities that need to have that discussion on how we do that.
Okay.
So yes, it is still being discussed. It is still in the budget. It is still a plan. But we do not have construction plans to do that yet.
Okay. But it's still.
I haven't forgot about you, no, sir.
Okay. Anything I can do to help you, feel free to call.
Yeah.
We'll be glad to help.
Yeah.
How many houses?
There's 3.
Be 3.
And again, I know myself and my neighbors are more than willing to work with you. Anything you need as far as crossing my property or whatever we need to do, I'd love to get on the city sewer system, so.
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yep.
to keep that in mind.
Have not forgot about you. I had a discussion with our water and sewer superintendent as early as last week about this
Okay.
particular issue.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming out. Anyone else? Okay, that's the last item on that agenda. So we'll close the agenda and open the meeting of the Utility Authority. Item number 1, discussion and action on the approval of the minutes of the meeting held on January 21st, 2014. Is there a motion that those minutes be approved? Was that Fisher?
Yes.
Okay. Motion by Fisher, second by Hannaford. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Fisher,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Lael,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Benson,
Yes.
Item number 2, discussion and action on the approval of claims. Mr. Miller?
Yes, Your Honor, I'd make a motion we approve claims of $98,757.75.
Second.
Okay, motion by Miller, second by Benson. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Miller,
Yes.
Benson,
Yes.
Hannaford,
Yes.
Valencia,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Lael,
Yes.
Item number 3, discussion and action on the acceptance of the lowest and best bid for the extension, construction of sewer lines east of Alva to accommodate commercial business. Joe Don, we have those bids on hand.
Yes, we did open bids on January 30th at 2 o'clock for the sanitary sewer system moving east of Alva. We received in 5 bids, with the lowest bid being $219,996.40, and the highest bid being $381,880. The next closest bid to the low bid was $306,137. Needless to say, we did question the low bid a little bit because there was such a disparity in the numbers. But after doing our background checks and our due diligence, they do have experience in this type of work and have references that would allow us to accept this bid. So, and you've also got a letter at your desk from Myers Engineering, the engineering firm, recommending the low, Mees Construction, Inc., out of Wichita, Kansas, is the apparent low bidder at $219,996.40. My recommendation would be to accept the bid.
Joe Don, am I correct All right, what is the distance of this sewer line?
Total length of the sewer line is 3,890 linear feet.
That's what it showed on this.
And nothing of the breakdown of the bid is concerning them $86,000. And they didn't mess it up, or, I mean,
We verified that they will complete this job for this amount of money. Everything has been in place. Their bid bonds are in place. Their packets in order.
completion time.
Their references check out as to the work that they've done in the past for other entities. So yeah, I share your concern about that. You know, an $86,000 difference between the low bid and the next low bid, and $161,883 difference between the low bid and the high bid. So we were for sure to do our due diligence to make sure that this would, but nothing indicates that we should not accept this as the lowest and best bid.
And that comes as a recommendation from our city engineer.
Also, yes,
Is there a motion then that we accept this bid from, is it pronounced Mees Construction?
Mees Construction.
And the amount of the bid will have to be listed. Is there a motion to that concern?
I move we approve the construction bid from Mees Construction, Wichita, Kansas, in the amount of $219,996.40.
We have a motion from Brown, a second from Lael. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Brown.
Yes.
Lael.
Yes.
Valencia.
Yes.
Benson.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
And Joe Dahl, now that this bid has been accepted by the council, do we have a timetable on when
Well,
that-
we're looking at least 4 weeks of construction. We'll need to give them a notice to proceed and get that, but I don't have a date certain as to the start date.
Depend on when they are able to mobilize. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, that's the last item on that agenda. Let's open the Economic Development Authority. Agenda item number 1, discussion and action on the approval of the minutes of the meeting held on January 21st, 2014. Is there a motion that those minutes be approved?
So moved.
Motion by Hannaford,
Second.
second by Valencia. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Valencia.
Yes.
Lael.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Benson.
Yes.
Item number 2, discussion and action on the approval of claims. Mr. Miller?
Yes, Your Honor, we have large claims for the ADA tonight. $280,931 of it is a scholarship fund, which is the vast majority of that. So I would make a motion that we approve claims of $296,456.43.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Motion by Miller, second by Benson. Any discussion? Clerk may call the roll.
Miller.
Yes.
Benson.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
Valencia.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Hannaford.
Yes.
Lael. Fisher.
Yes.
This meeting is adjourned.